gotta go with my steak brother, with Alex Pereira, man.
Alex Pereira, KO. I'm going to go with TKO, KO.
I got Pereira as well.
I'm going to go with Alex Pereira. I could see it going to decision.
I've got to go Pereira. I've got to go Pereira.
Pereira only has one direction, and that's forward. I got Alex, man, all day.
I'm going to go Alex Pereira, too.
I got to go Alex Pereira via knockout.
I am also going with Alex Pereira.
Ankalaev and Pereira fight.
Bout, Shama.
50-50, but with a little bit on Pereira side.
I am going to go with Alex Pereira.
If Ankalaev will keep his word, and he said he will fight with Alex just in stand-up, if he will keep his word, Alex will win.
The same people that are saying Shama now are going to be saying, no Shama, it's Ankalaev time.
Alex Pereira will still be the champion of the world when the dust settles. And all the doubters and the haters and everyone that talks shit need to shut the fuck up, because he's done it. And yeah, maybe Magomed Ankalaev hasn't got the wrestling of Khabib Nurmagomedov. Nobody does. Very few people in the history of mixed martial arts have ever been as good as Khabib, okay?
Both of these guys are giants for that weight class. Ankalaev is a sniper. Ankalaev is tough. Just as big as Alex Pereira. If Ankalaev does not go in there and mix it up and try to potentially wrestle that God-given hand of death, left hook touches you.
Question from Magomed. If you absolutely dominate Alex in this fight, if he understands that he's got no way out in this fight, do you think you'll send him back working in the tire shop? Yeah, we're planning on absolutely dominate him on Saturday. We're going to make sure that Shama has no chances on Saturday. And whether or not he stays in the sport or decides to go back to the tire shop, that's going to be up to him. He's going to be the one that has to make that decision.
I think Ankalaev's a smart guy. He's going to take him down.
It's got it, right?
He's just going to take him down. I don't think his wrestling is like unbelievable. He's not a wrestler. People think, oh, Russian wrestler. No, he's not a wrestler.
I'm still going Pereira.
I think Pereira's going to win as well. If Ankalaev just wrestles the whole fight, he could probably win. But I don't think his wrestling is that good. He wrestled with Paul Craig, and Paul Craig was taking him down.
Yeah.
The anticipation for Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev has skyrocketed, not just because it's a title fight, but because it's a clash between two proven fighters at the peak of their careers. This much-awaited showdown is set to take place on the 8th of March at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. In a recent press conference, Alex Pereira reacts to the claims about Magomed Ankalaev being the toughest challenge of his title reign. The light heavyweight champion said he has been training hard for a long time, and he doesn't care who his opponent is. He denied the rumors that he has started to train grappling just for Ankalaev. Rather, he revealed that he has been training for this skill right from the start. Alex Pereira said, "First of all, I am very, very prepared for this fight. I have been training a lot for this, and people have been saying that, hey, he is not a grappler. So because of the fact Magomed is such a strong grappler, so he just started training for grappling right now. Well, I have been training for grappling since the beginning." The light heavyweight champion Alaso reacted to the news about his move to the heavyweight division. He said his only focus is on defending his title for the 4th time, and after that, he will think about other things.
Bom, meu plano mesmo é defender meu cinturão. Tô bem nessa categoria, tô bem focado. A gente tá vendo que tem muitas possibilidades aí de outras lutas, peso pesado. Mas eu tô pronto para qualquer coisa. Isso não tá no meu controle. Eu vou estar continuando treinando e vou fazer meu trabalho.
Listen, my plan is to defend my belt. I know there's been a lot of talk about me going up maybe to heavyweight. There's so many plans, there's a lot of options, but listen, I'm focused and I'm prepared.
During the UFC 313 press conference, most of the fans there were supporting Alex Pereira and shouting "Chama, Chama." However, Magomed Ankalaev said he doesn't take pressure from such things. Rather, it motivates him further to become a better fighter.
Magomed, what do you make of that crowd reaction? You always seem like a nice guy to me. What does it feel like to be booed up there?
Меня заряжает наоборот. Все против меня, я один. Будет очень жарко.
It motivates me, it charges me. Everyone's against me. I'm here by myself. It's gonna be a really good fight.
Ankalaev missed the opportunity to become a champion a couple of years ago, but this time he is ready to turn the tables and get his first UFC title. The Dagestani fighter has forgotten the previous loss, and he is looking forward to delivering his best performance on Saturday night.
I wasn't upset about the last fight. I have nobody to blame. It's just myself. We saw the fight. The whole world saw the fight. but it happened the way it happened. Now it's a whole different ball game. It's a different fight. It's a different opponent. And you know what? Honestly, he should say thank you to Dana White for protecting him this whole time. Now it's going to be a whole different thing.
Magomed Ankalaev also challenged the champ to get ready for a close fight. He seemed confident that he wouldn't allow Pereira to survive 25 minutes against his wrestling. Magomed Ankalaev said, "I hope you are ready to do wrestle for 25 minutes." Reacting to this, Alex Pereira said that his opponent should worry about standing against his grappling. Poatan is not bothered by these kinds of statements from Ankalaev and is focused on defending his title on the 8th of March. Alex Pereira responded, "Let's see if he can stand 25 minutes. If he can't grapple me for 25 minutes, then he is gonna have to stand. And then we all know how's that gonna go." Magomed Ankalaev has said a lot of things about Poatan on social media, but the champ didn't respond. However, Alex Pereira revealed the one statement from Magomed Ankalaev that he took personally. Poatan was not happy about his opponent talking about alcoholism. In an interview on Daniel Cormier's YouTube channel, "I know that he's been talking a lot. The only thing I took personal was that he was talking about alcoholism because that's not only offending me but my family." Ankalaev said, "I was just going to UFC events to get drunk and get clout. I took that personal because I beat alcoholism. It's a win in life." Furthermore, Daniel Cormier praised the rise of Alex Pereira in UFC. He acknowledged the light heavyweight champion to become a double champion.
Can you put into perspective just how unbelievable a rise Alex Pereira's had in the UFC in such a short period of time?
You know, it's hard to do that because I remember sitting next to Joe Rogan when he made his debut in Madison Square Garden on the prelims, and Rogan going, "This guy's going to change the game." I thought he was just kind of blowing smoke, but he wasn't. The fact that this man is only 12-2, he has been the middleweight champ, he's the light heavyweight champion, he's defended the title, beaten multiple champions.
Meanwhile, when it comes to the argument about who is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the sport, Dana White finally accepted in January that Islam Makhachev had done enough to surpass John Jones as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. However, fans believe that his opinion might change again after UFC 313. If Alex Pereira beats Ankalaev at UFC 313, there are high chance that we see a change in the rankings. Dana White said, "He's one of the biggest stars in the sport right now, if not the biggest star in the sport. What makes this weekend great is Ankalaev is a very serious threat to him. This is probably the toughest fight he's ever had. His team always talks about his takedown defense and that the fans don't really know how good it is. We're gonna find out how good it is this weekend." Dana White further admitted that if Alex Pereira registers a win over the Dagestani fighter, he might move up the rankings to become the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Dana White stated, "This is a tough fight for Alex. Alex comes out of this the way he's come out of every other fight. He might be the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world." On the other hand, Brendan Schaub dropped a key breakdown of Magomed Ankalaev's fighting style. The former UFC legend dismantled the narrative that Ankalaev is merely a wrestler. According to him, the Dagestani is a skilled fighter and his striking shouldn't be underestimated. Brendan Schaub stated, "The main event, I can't wait for it. This has been, for Alex, especially since he got to light heavyweight, everyone's like, he needs to fight a grappler. That's his Achilles heel. I can't emphasize this enough. Ankalaev is a striker by all means. He fancies himself a striker. This is not a test of grappler versus striker, it's striker versus striker." The UFC legend Michael Bisping has made his final prediction for this highly anticipated clash. Bisping applauds Magomed for his skills and power, but the former UFC champion believes the Russian fighter lacks the fluidity and speed that Poatan possesses. Bisping feels Alex Pereira will shut down his haters at UFC 313 by defending his title against Ankalaev.
He's a great opponent, but he doesn't have the fluidity that Pereira does. And he doesn't have that next level to where Pereira can just put together lightning fast combinations with ridiculous power in every single shot. One of those shots will land, one of those shots will wobble Magomed Ankalaev, and Alex Pereira will still be the champion of the world when the dust settles. And all the doubters and the haters and everyone that talks shit need to shut the fuck up because he's done it.
Moreover, if Alex Pereira beats Magomed Ankalaev on Saturday, many believe he'll make the move out of the 205-pound division up to heavyweight to get his third belt. UFC lead play-by-play commentator John Anik has watched Potan's incredible rise to winning titles in 2 different weight classes. Recently, when John was asked if this could be the final light heavyweight appearance for Pereira, he said a move out of light heavyweight doesn't necessarily guarantee jumping up a division. I think it depends upon how the fight goes. If Magomed Ankalaev beats Alex Pereira to 50-45 and dominates him over 25 minutes, that wouldn't lay the foundation for a rematch as much as, say, a quick Ankalaev knockout, because Potan has established so much goodwill with the fan base, with the promotion, and you parlay that with the fact that there aren't a lot of obvious light heavyweight contenders right now. In a recent interview on MMA Fighting on the SBN YouTube channel, the host Mike Helk seemed to be very excited for this fight. He admitted that Ankalaev deserved this fight for a long time. John Anik also explained why Alex Pereira is not the betting favorite in this matchup.
Alex Pereira is back again, John Anik. 4th title defense in 11 months. This time, he is fighting Magomed Ankalaev, a guy who has been saying, and many have agreed, that he should have gotten the shot a long-ass time ago. What a super interesting matchup this is, John, because it's one of those fights where I just have a hard time figuring out what is going to happen out there in that octagon.
Well, I think the good news is that your boss is not holding your hands to the fire, requiring you to make a pick. I could be wrong on that, right? But when the betting odds makers set a line, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but they're trying to command two-way action, right? So Alex Pereira has not been a big betting favorite against Yuri Prochazka, against Jamal Hill, and he's a very slight favorite this weekend against Magomed Ankalaev.
John Anik knows Alex Pereira has a better experience of playing in such pressure fights. However, the UFC commentator thinks Magomed Ankalaev has more pressure for this fight due to his opponent's hype, and the fasts of Ramadan can also affect his performance.
Probably are aligned in thinking that maybe Magomed Ankalaev has a better chance to beat Pereira than maybe we thought Prochazka or Hill had going into that fight. But it's all but one lens through which to look at the fight. To me, it's very telling that Magomed Ankalaev is getting action at -102. I think there's value with Alex Pereira. I think the championship experience at some point should count for something. We sat down with Magomed Ankalaev yesterday. Certainly the media grind, I think, is taking its toll a little bit. You know, he hasn't necessarily experienced this before. Yes, he fought Jan Blachowicz for the title, but he wasn't fighting the biggest superstar in mixed martial arts at present. So I think that's an angle. Certainly the Ramadan thing is an angle. You know, he was completely parched in our fighter meeting, even though I know he is going to make some concessions to try to make it all work.
John Anik further expressed his excitement for this fight as he believes this is possibly the most hyped light heavyweight fight in the last 1.5 years. According to the UFC commentator, this fight was always set to happen, and it is important for the legacy of both fighters.
Fascinating matchup. I think Ankalaev's probably going to wrestle a little bit, but, you know, this is as anticipated a light heavyweight championship fight, I think, as we've had in probably 18 months or so. And it just had to happen. For Poatan's legacy, for Ankalaev, it had to happen, and we're 2 days away.
John has no doubt about Alex Pereira's skills. He refused to accept that Potan was taking this fight lightly. Anik said Pereira is always training hard for his fight, but the issue for him is that he always fights with the strongest fighters of his division.
And whether he's in Sydney, Australia, making $1 million doing appearances 3 weeks before the fight, or training in the snow in Danbury, Connecticut, this man is putting in the work. I think the bigger issue, Michael, might just be the opponent. That he's just fighting a guy that has the skills to extend him and potentially beat him. But I don't worry about, you know, Plinio Cruz and Glover Teixeira and that team getting him ready. I think the only window of vulnerability, for lack of a better way to put it, is just that he might be fighting the best guy he's fought in this light heavyweight division.
Alexander Volkanovski, who will take on Diego Lopez at UFC 314 for the recently vacated UFC Featherweight Championship, says Potan has too much power in his hands for the Dagestani fighter. He thinks that 205-pound Champonce will extend his winning streak by beating Magomed Ankalaev inside the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas on Saturday night. Volkanovski said, Pereira always had a good understanding, but now an even better understanding of the grappling, takedown defense, and all that sort of stuff. And And knowing that, I don't think Magomed, even if he does get to the ground, is gonna finish him, and it's gonna go back to the feet. I think he's gonna be able to handle that. I think he can handle that. Volkanovski didn't underestimate Magomed Ankalaev, as he knew the Russian fighter is no slouch on the feet, having won 10 of his 19 wins by knockout. However, the former featherweight champion explains that there are levels to this. Volkanovski added, "On the feet, Ankalaev, great fighter. Southpaw does some great things, can look very effective on his feet, but Pereira is insanely good on the feet." Alexander Volkanovski explains what is the biggest mistake that Ankalaev makes during his fights. According to Volk, Ankalaev has some habits that he repeats in all of his fights. Volk said that a guy like Alex Pereira won't fail to capitalize on such flaws during a fight. Alexander Volkanovski explained, "There's a couple of habits that Ankalaev has. You get the right guy in front of you, like Alex Pereira, and you're doing some of the habits that you always do. He's gonna capitalize on it straight away. Or even if he picks up on these habits during a fight, he'll capitalize pretty quickly. He is that good. He's got that good of eyes, that composed. He's that level-headed." Furthermore, Alexander Volkanovski makes his final verdict for this epic showdown. He said the light heavyweight champion, Alex Pereira, will defend his title and predicts a knockout win for Potan. Volkanovski doesn't think that the fight will end early and expects it to go to the third round.
So I am going to go with the favorite on this one, Alex Pereira. KO. I'm going to go with TKO KO. I think with him it's always a pretty safe bet, especially when he's a favorite.
So this is it from today's video, and we hope that you have enjoyed it. We would also love to know about your predictions for UFC 313 in the comments section. If you liked the video, then give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos.